Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by Slimers in Organic Flesh Bait. Fish hit hard and often with Slimers.
If you were to ask me what's a smallmouth's favorite food, you know what I would say? Exactly, crayfish. I'm not sure why, because all different species of fish will eat a crayfish, but smallmouth bass love crayfish. And this is what worked really well on the Grand River. It's an 1.5 inch long crayfish grub. It's made out of plastic, but it's a little special because, as you can see, it's got a weight on the tail, and it's called a sliding sinker crayfish. Why sliding sinker? I'll explain to you in a minute. As you can see, the hook is rigged underneath the crayfish. It's weedless because it's rigged Texas rig. That's what this is called, when you take the hook and you impale it back into the plastic. Now you'll notice that there's a little slot for the eye of the hook to fit into. I'll just push the eye out right there. So the way you rig this crayfish is a little bit different. You actually take the line and you put it through a hole that's in the crayfish. It comes out the underneath, and then you attach it to the hook. Let me show you with the bigger one that's right here. Okay, so here's a larger crayfish. As you can see, the line has gone into a hole that's in the tail. It comes out the underside. It has gone through that weight, that sliding sinker, and then it's attached to the hook right here. So what that does, when you drop this crayfish into the water, it'll fall to the bottom with the weight first. When you pull on it, when you tug on it, it makes that weight fold, so it goes backwards. When you release, it opens. When you pull on it, it goes backwards. See that action? That's the exact swimming action that a crayfish has when it's going in reverse. Okay? In this case, the hook is sticking out on top. This is a larger one, it's a 3 inch. So they can be rigged so that the contour of the hook is the exact contour of the crayfish, just like that, or it can be rigged Texas rig, so that the hook is actually inside the crayfish like the little one. And the way the smallmouth hit these crayfish, you don't get a violent hit. The smallmouth just jumps on it and inhales it and literally stays there. So you'll just feel a dead weight, and when you go to lift up, you'll feel the bass on, and you have to set the hook or they'll swallow the crayfish. So this is an excellent bait to use, not just in the Grand River, but anywhere where there's smallmouth bass. If I was fishing the Great Lakes, I would use the larger one. If I was fishing smaller waters for smaller bass, I would use the 1.5 inch. Now, think about colors. As you can see in this box that I'm holding up here, the colors are very natural because crayfish aren't very bright. So this is called motor oil. You can see how natural it is. This is another shade of green right here. And then the little guy here is called pumpkin seeds. I'm just going to lay them out for you, okay? So all these are almost clear see-through colors. And once they're in the water, they look very natural. And that's one of the keys to catching smallmouth bass in rivers. You have to match the food that they're feeding on, and a crayfish is going to be number one. You know, sometimes obvious areas like this aren't fished by people. And I'm sure that the top part of this abutment also has fish holding, like the next abutment that's up there. But right now I'm just working this bottom one. Okay. See if I can get it back up there. Nice long cast with this little light rod. This is almost like sitting in an armchair. And I'm just letting that current take that crayfish down. And because it's got that weight on the tail, all I got to do is lift my rod up gently and it looks really real. And if one hits it closer to the kayak than the abutment, you'll actually see my rod tip snap. So they've really been grabbing the crayfish. So they believe it's real. That's weeds. I don't know if I've got weeds on there now. There's a crate. There's one. No, they all seem to be about the same size. About a pound. It's kind of nice to have action on every cast. I think this is about the fifth bass I've caught casting into this one little pocket. So there must be a whole school of them there. And I think I'm going to have to change that crayfish. See, this one doesn't have as many bars. It's a little bit greener. It goes back in. Okay, see if I can get away maybe one more hookup with this crayfish. It's getting beat up. It's looking like a sorry crayfish.